This is the U.S. Justice Watch CR, and I'm John Harnish. And I am pleased to give you breaking news. There is justice. So, Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes is sentenced to 11 years in prison. She pulled off one of the biggest scams, $1 billion scam over a pill that was supposed to do all of these purported things that it had not done and does not do at all. This woman is a scam. And what really proves this to me is that this woman is pregnant. She actually is having a baby before she goes into prison for 11 years. And the news talks about she's going to miss all those moments. Well, guess what? Her baby's going to miss all those moments. What is this kid going to grow up with? How dare she do something like that? And to me, it just proves what kind of a woman this is. Someone who ripped off senators, someone who ripped off, like a government official gave $100 million to her fund. This is something that she's done since she was 19 and now is in her late 30s. Check it out.
In the last couple of minutes, you had a federal judge sentencing Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos to more than a decade in prison. Remember, of course, Holmes was convicted about some business dealings related to this failed blood testing startup, found guilty of cheating investors out of hundreds of millions of dollars with false claims about Theranos' technology and business dealings. Those false claims helped Theranos raise something like $945 million from investors. Nearly $1 billion was raised off stuff that was ultimately found to not be true. It's because there was this promise of a medical revolution in blood testing that catapulted the company to $10 billion in value, but the tech was never there. It just never worked the way that Holmes and others promised that it would. Now, Alec Charles is joining us now. So let me get into the nitty-gritty of this sentencing. I believe, and I'm just checking my notes here, prosecutors had asked for 15 years in prison. The defense had said no prison time, just home confinement. The judge ended up saying 11 and a half years behind bars, right? I mean, this is a significant sentence, and it largely tracks with what we've seen for defendants convicted of similar crimes, which is like roughly 16 years, according to some reports.
Right, Hallie. This is very significant because it is rare for people like Elizabeth Holmes to be charged for fraud, let alone convicted of it. So at this point, the judge now saying she'll be serving 11 and a half years in prison. Her defense tried so hard for this not to be the case. They've been arguing that she should serve no prison time because they say her intentions were good. This week, they submitted more than 100 letters from her family, her friends, and supporters saying that
complete bullshit and a scam.
And that included a letter from her husband who described her as being selfless and loving, and described
Of course he
her
did.
As a
Of course he did.
Partner and also a great mother. There was also
a great mother has a baby
who says that
with
the
potential chance that she might go to prison.
So those are the letters that were submitted from her defense in support of her not getting any prison time here and getting a lenient sentence, Hallie, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Prosecutors, of course, on the other end of that spectrum, although there was a max here of 20 years, they recommended 15 years, saying not only was she the face of Theranos, but she was also the mastermind of deception and lies. They say that this is one of the worst crimes when it comes to white-collar crime in the history of Silicon Valley. So this is also sending a strong message to Silicon Valley as well, because those entrepreneurs are known to work in different situations in which they basically fake it until they make it. But in this case, Theranos did not make it. Elizabeth Holmes' technology never was found to work in the way she said it would. She, of course, got famous off of the idea that with just one drop of blood, that she could give hundreds of blood tests, changing the way we see healthcare, right? Instead of having a painful process in which you have a vial of blood, instead getting it in a painless situation in which you just have one drop, like a prick. So it's
a prick.
It's huge. This is a huge message that's being sent, Hallie.
What I think is also important to remember her context-wise is what a huge star she was, a darling of the tech and medical industries. She was on the cover of magazines. People, I mean, she became a celebrity because of this. She pulled in incredibly high-profile people who were investing in her.
Be careful
in her company,
who you
former
trust.
cabinet officials in various administrations, right? Like she, we were showing some pictures of her. She was known for like wearing the black turtleneck like Steve Jobs everywhere. She had kind of a look. She very, very high profile, and no one even.
Look at those eyes. Now, you can't judge a book by its cover, but you can look at those eyes. So, today, justice prevailed. Let's be happy about that white crime, white collar crime, really both, has been held accountable. There is justice, and people work hard for it. This is John Harnish. Subscribe. Let's get together and make change. Thanks for watching.